Why, hello, BookTube. How are we doing today? I am doing well. It's Angie from Angie Rose Nomad, and welcome to another video where I can't speak, apparently. This is a common theme in all my videos. I just hope I do a really good job of editing it out so you guys can't tell. Welcome to another installment of Friday Reads. So before we get started, I do have a rather serious subject matter to discuss with you guys. Whenever I wear this top, my dog thinks that I am a goose and will sporadically attack me at random intervals throughout the day. Just come up and bite and want to pull. The other arm doesn't look as bad as this one does, or bite the back of my thighs, which is really fun. So we're gonna go hunt him down. Are you guys ready? It's adventure time. We have to be really quiet. You also will get to see my bookshelf today. Yay! All right, here we go. I don't see either one of my dogs right now. Culprit. There's the culprit. Can you say hi? Everyone, this is Tucker. This is the bookshelf. It's a little bit of a mess. We all see you. So I bet you guys did not expect to see a mini house tour on this video. They just so happened to be hunkered in for the evening already. Even though Dina's usually out here with me, I have stopped making my bed a while ago because, as you can see, she gets on the bed and she unmakes it and roots around, and I'm just, what's the point anymore? What is the point? Tucker is a lab mixed with a chow. I've had him since January 1st of 2013, and I got Dina in August of 2012. And that was just a brief sample of the books that I have in my room currently. They are under the bed, they are in the closet, they are on that little tiny bookshelf that I'm quickly running out of space on. So obviously I haven't cleaned yet. That's on tomorrow's list. But, you know, I don't know why he attacks me. I don't know what his fascination is with geese. But every time I wear that, he just goes after me. And I'm always on guard all day. But it's quite warm. And yesterday was 26 degrees here. I don't know how cold that is in Celsius for my Celsius friends. Let's look and see. So that's -3 degrees Celsius. And that sweater is the warmest thing I own without my heavy winter coat on. So I wore that inside. He didn't like it. So lesson noted. I fell down on the job last week. I got extremely busy and I was going to post a video on Wednesday and then skip my Friday reads of last week. However, the microphone was malfunctioning last Wednesday when I recorded the video, or last Tuesday when I recorded the video, and the audio was extremely garbled, so I couldn't use it. So I do apologize for missing 2 videos last week. That being said, I feel like I haven't caught up with you guys on what I've finished or what I've been reading and thinking in a long time. And I have finished a couple of books since I last spoke to you. So the first thing I finished was Another Woman's Husband by Jill Paul. I gave this a 3 stars. I wasn't crazy about the storyline. I wanted to enjoy it more than I did. I just didn't. I felt the characters were a little too flat. and it really didn't dive into history as much as I would have liked. But I'm not opposed to giving Jill Paul another go and seeing if there's another book by her that I might get on better with. So then on audio, I listened to An Unwanted Guest by Sherry Lapina. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. So this is about a group of strangers that are going to this mountain retreat for the weekend just to get away. They have couples, they have a writer there trying to, get away from the hustle and bustle. And while they're there, someone starts killing people. Sherry Lapina is actually on my predicted 5-star reads. I think It's a Stranger in the House is on that list, but I enjoyed this one. I found the end to be a little bit predictable, and as soon as one certain clue was given, the pieces kind of started falling into place. You guys know how it is, especially if you read thrillers or mysteries, where you get one little detail and you're like, yep, that's it, right there. Sometimes a really good author can pull it off and drop what you think is the final clue and that will lead you to the killer, but they twist the whole book around and it's not actually who you think. This wasn't like that. They said a clue and I ran with it and I was right. It was still a good read, or a good listen rather. I really enjoyed the narration. Okay, so then I actually picked up another 5-star prediction and didn't even realize it. I picked up Still Life by Louise Penny, and I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I am on Goodreads, so you can see how shoddy I am at updating my progress, but I'm going to get better about that. But I loved Armand Gamache so freaking much. He is amazing. So Still Life follows the story of this town called Three Pines in Canada. And there has been a murder, and Armand Gamache and his investigative team are called in to see what's going on, see if it was an accident, like a lot of people believe, or if there is a killer on the loose. I have heard throughout the series that we stay in Three Pines and follow the same characters, which I am really excited about, because the way that Louise Penny wrote these people, I wanted to know more about their lives. She gave you a brief introduction to each person, not enough to really say, oh, I really like this person or I despise this person, but just a look. And I can't wait to explore their stories and their lives in Three Pines. I did knock it down half of a star for just a few minor details here and there. The major one that I can think of being that Armand will actually request a relatively new, inspector to join his crew, so he can train them up and really take them under his wing and make a difference in these people's lives. And in this book, he got his new recruit, and she was just terrible. I hated her. I just wondered why we had to bring her into the story. She didn't really contribute to anything, in my opinion, so that was the biggest reason that I had to knock it off half a point. But there were a few little ticks here and there, but overall, fantastic. Really, really recommend this one. The last book that I finished yesterday, which was on Wednesday, is The First Conspiracy, The Secret Plot Against George Washington and the Birth of American Counterintelligence. This is by Brad Meltzer and Josh Mensch. And I really enjoyed this book, you guys. I rated it 4 stars. I've never read anything by Brad Meltzer before. I want to say I heard somewhere that this was his first nonfiction, but I cannot be sure. And I didn't check Goodreads before starting this video. So, one of the great mysteries of life. I enjoyed this book quite a bit. I found myself thinking often, how on earth did America win the Revolutionary War when the deck was stacked against them and they had so much to overcome? This book follows the story of George Washington as well as the newly formed Continental Army a little bit. Mainly it is the story of his adversary, a man named William Tryon, who was the governor of New York. And dear old William is trying to find a way to thwart George Washington's plans. He wants the Continental Army to go down, and so he's enlisting all these spies to help him and figure out what's actually going on behind the scenes. So those were the 4 books that I've completed since I've done my last Friday Reads video. Now let's talk about what I'm going to be reading this weekend. The first one happens to be a library book. Sorry about that. But I actually got called for another book that I had placed on hold. And I saw this one on the 14-day loan shelf right at the front. I've started it. I love it. And it is One in a Million. This is by Lindsay Kelk. I have never read anything by Lindsay before. And I am just enjoying this book so much. I don't want to read anything else. I usually have about 3 to 4 books going at a time, and I just don't want to read anything else right now. I have started multiple books, but this one has all my attention. So what's going on in this story? This story follows a woman named Annie, who is a social media guru. She helps clients build up their social media profiles and gain a wider audience. Now, Annie works at this office sharing space where you can, rent a little space inside of a big complex, and then other companies can do the same. So there's 2 gentlemen involved, Martin, who owns the building where she is currently leasing the space, and Charlie, who works at an advertising agency. And one day they're talking to Annie, and they are kind of doubting her powers a little bit, which makes Annie very frustrated. So they form a bet. And the bet is that Annie cannot get a random person to 20,000 Instagram followers in a month. They find the unlikely candidate for social media, a man named Dr. Samuel Page, who writes very dry nonfiction books. He has super long hair and a really long, bushy beard that's not well kept at all. And that is Annie's new project. So far, it is very fun. I've actually laughed out loud in several places, which, when you're out in public, might not be the best thing, because then you just look like a loon laughing to yourself. You guys know exactly what I mean. Or if you didn't like books and didn't feel the same way about books, you wouldn't be watching this channel. But yeah, definitely a good one. The book that I actually got called about that was placed on hold was the library book. This is by Susan Orland. So this is the Reese's Book Club book for the month of January. Reese Witherspoon, the actress, does a book club. And back in the beginning of December, I was very interested in joining an online book club. So I was perusing around, and I saw that her choice for December was One Day in December. I read it. I adored that book. And so I wanted to keep up and see what else she would recommend. I have just started this, not very far. I started and then I got wrapped up in One in a Million, so this is on hold for the moment. I love it. I love it so much, you guys, from what I have read so far. This is about a fire in the Los Angeles library back in 1986, I want to say. And over 400,000 books burned and over 700,000 books were damaged. And she's trying to investigate what really happened. There was a man that was suspected of starting this fire. He did pass away, so she's trying to put the pieces together to see if it was intentional arson or what really went on. I want to share a quote with you guys really quick because I love it so much. So she's talking about when she was younger, how her mother was a big advocate of their library, and then once she got older, she herself stopped going to the library as much, and she just wanted to buy all of these books that she really didn't when she was, and she wanted to buy all of these books because when she was younger, they went to the library all the time, so she didn't really buy books. But it says, I wanted to have my books around me, forming a totem pole of the narratives I visited. I love that so much. And then in the back, who even does that anymore? I miss that so freaking much, you guys. It's crazy, but yeah, this is a really well-constructed book as well. Sounds really hard. Awesome. Loving it so far. So those are both due back in 14 days. I cannot renew them, but I can renew this next one. I don't think I'm going to. I think it's time that I pick it up. And it is The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. I have already started this book. I got one chapter in and then got drawn in by other books, but I think it's time to start it back up. So the very last book that I will be picking up over the weekend is actually a buddy read book that I am doing with the wonderful Rach from Book Piles. I will leave her channel linked in the description down below. I cannot wait to read this book with her, and it is The Lavender Garden by Lucinda Riley. This says, an aristocratic French family, a legendary chateau, and buried secrets with the power to destroy 2 generations torn between duty and desire. And it takes place in 1998 as well as 1944. I have never read anything by Lucinda Riley before, so I'm really looking forward to giving this a shot. So there we have it. Those are the books that I will be reading over the weekend and the books that I've finished recently. You also got a sneaky peeky of the bookshelves, you know. I have wood in my garage currently to make another shelf. Don't ask how long it's been sitting there, you guys. I want this project done, but it keeps getting stalled up. Sadly, I need another shelf. So I would love to know what you guys are reading or have finished recently. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to become part of the tribe. I will see you in my next video. Bye.